Good morning, everybody. Well, actually, afternoon, everybody. Had a late start on this Monday, July 13th, 2026. I had a late start this morning. And so, I told you I'm changing the way I live. So I had to make sure a certain factor was set up properly so that I can indulge in things that I like to do, because if there's this one particular factor that wasn't working out properly, I don't know, we all have our, the way we live. We require certain things, that'll make us happy, and isn't that what it's about? To be, well, I'm happy already, but to be taken care of and provided for. And that's really, really important for me, to be taken care of and be provided for. And 99% of the time that falls on me and my responsibilities. No one else is required to do that. So with my late start in the morning, I had to make sure a certain factor was working properly, and it is. So everything's coming along great in my change of the way I live. And I just want to stress this again. Do not pay attention to what people are saying on YouTube or the other social media platforms about how to get things done, because most of the time they are, I don't want to say they're lying to you, but they kind of exaggerating, maybe fabricating. And keep in mind, they are affiliates. So what is their whole main purpose? Is to sell you something, to sell you something, to sell you something. So I'm not saying what the products that they're selling you may not work, but please do your own research and do your own discernment. It'll save you lots of money. That is from experience. And everybody's looking to put a buck in their pockets, but they're taking it out of yours, okay, by any means necessary. A lot of people are struggling to feed themselves. Do not be misled by all of these people. All of a sudden, everybody's jumping back on YouTube. I guess a couple of years ago, or whatever, everybody's jumped off of YouTube and went to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. You don't stop, and now everybody's kind of jumping back in because of marketing, number one, and number two is this deception about monetization. People think they're experts as to how to make money, and a lot of people believe that, oh my God, all I need is 1 million followers, and then I'm set. A lot of them refuse to realize that no one has 1 million followers. You have 1 million bots, BOTS. Stop deluding yourself. And if you're doing well on social media, meaning income-wise, okay. But do not fabricate what you have to do to make all of this money, quote unquote. I know so many people that are claiming they're making all this money, but, they know what their circumstances are. Okay, they know that they're barely making ends meet. Okay, they can barely put food on the table. And they're barely providing the basic necessities for their life. Providing the basic necessities for your life can be challenging. For me, like I said, since I'm intentionally changing the way I live, you have to be resourceful. You have to be creative. And you need to be able to deal with, some of the struggles that come along with that. All because you changing the way you live, and it's in a positive fashion. There still are struggles with that. So that's why it's important, as we're being taught, to remain neutral about everything. Remain neutral. Settle yourself down. Okay, get a grip on your actual reality, and know that, okay, yes, this is a positive change for me, but yet there's struggles and challenges and, disappointments too. The disappointment comes in, like I said, with people claiming they're experts and giving you all this advice and telling you to do this and that and the other. Well, they're not telling you. What they're mostly doing is trying to sell. What they do is try to sell you something. And you end up buying it, and it turns out to be crap, garbage. And it's such a pain just to return it. Most people keep it, and they know that. Okay, a lot of people make money that way, knowing that these products don't work. The manipulation, deception, and fraud is at an all-time high on all of these platforms. No one is an expert per se. It's all based on your own individual life experiences. You create your own expertise based on your life experiences. Other people have no idea what your life experiences consist of because we're all different. Thankfully. That's one thing I'm so thankful of, that I'm different, that we're different. We're not the same. Okay, we have our own consciousness, but there are steps to evolving your consciousness. And that's what I offer for you. I don't claim to be an expert, but I know consciousness. I bet you that. So it's Monday. As I said, did I give the date? Yeah, Monday, July the 13th, 2026. On a Monday. I had a late start. I'm not sure why. But I do have to make sure certain things are working properly. Okay, that's the only way this new way that I'm living is going to be successful for me. And I'll be able to provide for myself. And one thing I've always said to myself, I will not be a burden to anyone. That I will not fall for that trap ever again. I will always make sure that I can stand on my own feet, regardless of if I'm single, married, or otherwise. I will not make that mistake again, believing, because it's a belief that someone's going to have my back. Even though, I know people who will have my back regardless, but I am not going to be burdening them to prove that to me at all. Okay? I make sure I take care of myself. And then if anybody's in my life, I help to provide, but they are still responsible for standing on their feet as well, with or without me. Okay? That is a priority, top of the line. Okay? I can stand on my own feet whether I'm with someone or not. And that is a privilege for me. That's the privilege. That's the benefit too when you evolve your consciousness. So again, I had to make sure a certain factor that is very important to my life will be working properly in the new environment that I am working towards. And it does. So hey, once I knew that was in place and working properly, I knew everything else is nothing. Nothing is. Sometimes it is the simple things. People say, "Oh, it's the simple things." A lot of people just ramble. Oh my gosh! But it is the simple things. It's unfortunate that we turn everything into religious connotations. Okay, the simple things. There's a song out. Everything's a song, which is true. Life is a song. Life is sounds and tones. Life is energy. Okay, but a lot of people just bring out the superficiality of it all. They're not walking the talking. Okay, when I got up this morning, the overcast is even beautiful. Normally, I am blasted with that energy of the sun in the morning. It's intense, and sometimes it's painful too. Sometimes that intensity of the sun rays is painful. So it was a nice change this morning to get up and experience some overcast, a little breeze. I'm still sweating, because I am kind of working and moving around indoors, outdoors, blah blah blah. But it's a nice change. and it's you know, whether it's sunny or not, you have to get work done. Work has to get done. And I am thankful that I make the choices in my life as to how I want to live. If I decide to live a certain way, that's my decision. And I'm going to say this again, it's my free will, which we all have. So be your own expert. Okay, do your own discernment. Keep in mind there will be some positive and negatives, whether the situation was a choice or not. Okay, even though, again, I'm choosing what I'm doing and how I'm providing for myself, but there's still some challenges there. Okay, there's still some, I have to have a certain amount of strength, to do certain things that I'm doing. And, I'm up for it. I am up for it 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it right now on this Monday and get started on some other projects that I'm working on. But I just want to send peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. At the end of the day, whether it's these final hours or not, it's about universal love and the evolution of your consciousness. Talk to you soon.